Hey people, Anthony, 4x4 Diesel. I've got a really important bit of information on diffs and lockers. We've got someone that's had some problems with a locker in the front of a Hilux, and I suppose it could happen to anyone. So we're just going to share some experiences. I've got Frank here with me. Frank's come and picked up a injector kit, and it's lunchtime, so we're off down to the favourite Indian restaurant to have some lunch. But I thought we'll make the most of it. We've got about a 5 or 10 minute drive, and we'll just sort of share a bit of information with you. So just to confirm, you've got a 2014 Hilux.
Yep.
And you've got the LOKKA, LOKKA.
Yeah, in the front of it.
Yeah. And are they meant to be made in Australia?
I think they are, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's a positive side to it. I had one myself in this vehicle, in the 120. I put the front ARB air locker in nearly 10 years ago that I've had no problems with. It transformed the vehicle, and then shortly afterwards I put the rear locker in. It was good. I didn't have any problems with it. Every now and then it sort of seemed to lock up and do a bigger bang every now and then, but it'd be like every 6 months, so I wasn't too worried about it. But then I had a pinion seal leak, and I decided while we're doing the diff, I'll just take it out because the vehicle was kind of too capable, as funny as that sounds. But quite happy with it, with the LSD in the front locker. Goes everywhere it needs to go. And there's been a few people recently asking about lockers and what lockers and that sort of thing. We've got someone else that's got the locker in his hand, waiting to put it in. He's put the rear locker in. It seems to have really helped the vehicle, almost transformed it as well. But I still think he's going to put something in the front. Now, Frank's had some experience. Now, can you remind me and everybody that might be listening still know how many Hiluxes you put these lockers into, what year the Hiluxes were, and roughly how long they've been in there, that sort of information?
Yeah, okay. So it was about 18 months ago.
Yep.
A mate of mine, we both put front lockers in our Hiluxes. Mine, as you said, is 2014. My mate's 2016.
So you both did it together?
Same day,
yep.
Same time.
Yep.
Pulled both vehicles apart.
Got them both done in a day?
Got them both done in a day.
Pretty good going. So you're pretty handy on the tools and that sort of work?
Yep. Yeah, pretty long day. All the specs were as per the LOKKA recommendations, although they were all at the tighter end of their specification, but they were within spec.
Within spec, yep.
And well, as you said, they really did transform the vehicle. The vehicle was fantastic, but
because they were both front lockers, right?
Both front, yeah. Yep. And but we both noticed that when they did unlock, it was quite a violent sort of a loud clunk sort of thing that sent a bit of a shudder through the car. We actually just thought that was just how they were, sort of thing. It wasn't too recently. Seeing somebody else's rear locker and how easily it unloaded, we realised that it was not right, and so. I've since reached out to the guys at 4-Wheel Drive Systems, sent them video that you took there a month ago. Because
we did do some video and some posts. So that video of the locker unlocking, is that on YouTube? Have I put that on?
It is. Yeah.
So we've got it on the YouTube channel somewhere, and we also did a post on, was it Oz Hilux?
I think so.
Somewhere saying, hey, who's got one of these? Have you had any issues? Just trying to work out, and it's certainly not normal that it does this, but it does appear to be random. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, it does. So anyway, I sent off an email and that video, and the guys actually came. That was just yesterday, and they came back to me today, which was really good service sort of thing.
Yep.
I spoke to an Alex there at 4-Wheel Drive Systems, and tried to go through what might be causing it to unlock so violently and all the rest. And Alex thought there might be some other drive issue or something within the car, like a binding CV or bearing or this or that.
He does know it's a Toyota, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And
I just want to say that we haven't had any issues of anything binding or anything in the front of these vehicles like what he's talking about. But anyway.
Yeah, so it's really, he was struggling to come up with any reasons as to why they both might be doing that, other than some other mechanical interference, which in both vehicles seems a bit strange. And we also discussed about altering the clearances, maybe opening up the clearances to try to get the
speed camera in case anybody missed it, but anyway,
a bit more easily. But he seemed to think that wouldn't make a difference. So I'm not too sure. So my mate's car actually broke down about a week ago. We pulled the diff back out of it at the weekend.
Wow, that's pretty bad.
And found that it had broken one of the pins within the locker.
So it's actually broken the pin.
Broken the pin. in. So we've just reinstalled the original gears back in the diff and built it back to standard. That truck's going again.
So obviously 18 months of that constant, you know, whatever, maybe off-road pressure constantly, that was my concern, that something's eventually going to let go, whether it's some original genuine part of the diff or part of the aftermarket stuff. So personally, I already was thinking this way, but after hearing this story, I'm certainly highly recommending no auto front lockers in the front of probably a lot of vehicles, but especially the Prados and the Hiluxes for anybody that wants my opinion. So what other things did he ask you that, you know, as for, you know, you said everything was within spec. I mean, did you have any ideas what could be causing it, or was there any checks you could do that might have, you know?
About the only thing that he thought might have been an issue is if the spring and pin were actually put in back to front, if you like.
Yep.
And
understood. Yeah. So not that, because one pin, end of the pin's rounded off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a little nib on it, sort of thing on the pen, but and so there's more of a blind hole, if you like, in one half and a slotted hole in the other half of the locker. And he confirmed that the spring should be in the slotted half of the locker, which is as per which is the way we put them in. So. So he did ask whether or not I had another locker or something, or an LSD in the back, because he thought maybe there might have been some bind up between the front and the back, but I haven't. I've just got an open diff in the front, so in the back, I should say. And it sort of got me thinking whether or not there could be any bind up between the front and back, but that would have to be a ratio thing.
Look, you know, I mean, obviously, just even having it in low range, connecting the front to the rear on fairly dry surfaces, it does have an effect, and by adding a locker, it's going to add to that sort of thing. So, yeah, interesting. So, did he ask about the unlock test and whether you did the unlock test and that when you installed it?
He did, and that's one thing we didn't actually do. And he said, well, you've got to do the unlock test. I said, okay, well, let's take us back to when we install it. I'll get the vehicle back together. I do the unlock test, and it doesn't unlock. What then? And he didn't really have any great suggestions.
Yeah, so I was curious when I installed mine, because I spoke to Tom, who was the original guru on it, I think, and I'm not saying it was a pleasant experience, but you know, I did spend a couple of phone calls with him and a bit of chit chats on the installation, because it was my first one, first and last. I won't be installing one of those again or having anything to do with it after this, but I was always thinking and asking questions like, so if it doesn't pass the unlock test, what do you do next? And did you ask that of Alex when you spoke to him?
Yeah, I did, but he couldn't really answer. And he said you're going to need to go looking for issues, CV, bearings, some other.
So it's not going to be the rest of the car causing the issue. It's going to be the actual, you know, the unit that's been, you know, that's what you've put in there. So it appears that if it doesn't pass the unlock test, I don't know how often that happens, but there's no solution.
He did say that they sell thousands of them without any dramas.
Yeah. Well, that's
just
good.
Unlucky.
Yeah, I suppose, you know, it could be just unlucky. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But look, we thought we'd share this information with you. Kill two birds with one stone. We're just driving down the road, and that's how easy it is to make videos and share information with people. Try and help other people. We're not trying to bag out the product. If it's Australian made, someone let us know in the comments. Is it an Australian company, or is the product actually Australian made? I'd be interested to know if anyone can confirm that. At the price of $500 or $600 for a couple of little pieces of material, it's pretty expensive. I'd hope it's Australian made. If that was made in China or something, you know, that'd be $20 worth. So I hope the markup's not like that. But it would be good to confirm. So there you go. Let's wrap this one up. If you learnt something, hit the like button. We've got a playlist there that talks about diffs and lockers. Check out all the information in those videos before you decide if you're going to put a locker in or which one. There is a lot of what I think is good advice there. And subscribe if you want to see the next video. There is someone else, as I said, that's got the locker in his hand. I don't think he's going to put it in, but we've got to catch up on that and see what happens. Are you going to take yours out of your car as well?
Yeah, mine's coming out.
So his is out, yours is coming out, okay? And what do you think? You'll probably find a locker to put in there while you're at it.
Yeah, air or E, I'm not sure.
Okay. So. Well, let's just wrap it up for about another minute. So my experience with this air locker, in the front, I've had no problems. Okay, I know someone else that had one before me, no problems in a 120. I know someone else that got one in a 120. He had problems. It was around the 5-year mark, and they did cover it under warranty, I believe. That's obviously to do with the seal issue. He had oil coming out the compressor, like a lot of people do. So this is the issue with the ARB. But on a positive side is, doesn't matter where you are, there's an ARB shop. and you've got a good 5-year warranty with it. So that's the positive. But that being said, if you're away on a trip and you have problems, the last thing you want is to be, it's not like they're standing there on standby, yep, we can do that today or tomorrow. You could be waiting, so it can mess with your trip depending what the problem is. I think the e-lockers are probably a bit more reliable option. So I've got the air locker in this. I've never had a problem with the 120. I've put the e-locker in the Hilux. Hardly used it. I haven't really tested off-road yet. We've tested the operation that it actually works, and very soon we'll be out on the tracks testing it and using it a lot, so we'll have some more feedback on that. All right, let's wrap it up. Thanks for listening, everyone. Catch you on the next video. See ya.